interesting things about this Broadway season is that the two most nominated shows are Hamilton and Shuffle Along, which feature big and almost entirely non-white casts. Additionally, there's Eclipse, the first Broadway production to be written, directed, and performed exclusively by black women. Color Purple, which centers around black actresses. The list goes on. What can Hollywood learn from Broadway? Because they're obviously having their own struggles with diversity at the moment.
So much. I mean, clearly like what you just talked about and just the casting, but even beyond the diversity within the casting and the storytelling, just I think storytelling in general, I think Hollywood is in a major drought right now for actually capturing people's hearts and attentions and minds.
It's sacrificing talent over whatever sells tickets. I just think talent transcends anything else. Talent and drive and merit. I mean, I grew up thinking that show business was a meritocracy. And it is not, no. And especially in Hollywood. And I think that now, especially in this what people are calling the new golden age of theater, we're doing it right. People, no matter what they look like, have brought incredible stories to light, and people aren't going, it's good, but she's this, or he's that.
Broadway has always done stuff
yes.
before. You know, the Children's Hour about lesbians, when they made the first movie, they were just good friends, you know. So Hollywood has always shied away from anything that was challenging in that way. And I guess now they've been called on the carpet, so they're stepping up.
And we should know you were in excellent Casa Valentina, which was about trans issues. Before that's that right. was now it's
that's
everywhere.
Right.
So
yeah.
But I think that, can I just make
Please.
a point there about that? I don't think anybody in Hollywood ever sat down and said, let's make a really great artistic picture. It's run by corporations, and movies are products, and the product has to sell to the widest possible audience. And in order to do that, you have to shave off anything that's emotionally challenging or complex. Here's the thing that I've noticed, and I'd love to know how these other shows, when I look out at the curtain call at the end, you're talking about diversity in terms of casting. I look at the audiences, and I don't see any diversity in the shows that I've been in. First of all, it costs a lot of money to go to Broadway. And you wonder about where the next wave of young writers is going to come from and young actors, because the lure of television and films is so strong for obvious reasons. But I used to be a teacher in Dublin, and the kids asked me one day, would I start a drama class? I knew nothing about it. I used to take them to the movies and the theater, and we discuss it. And the difference between them in a drama class and in a conventional class was enormous, because they discovered something that allowed them to express themselves. It was unself-conscious in the sense there was no career involved. But the power of drama to alter children's lives and people's lives is incredibly moving. And when I look out at those audiences, I think to myself, well, is there any way that Broadway can address the expense notion, the idea of maybe doing shorter runs so that actors can be more accommodated? And how do you produce diversity in Broadway audiences? Hamilton is one thing, but you can't get into that. School of Rock.
Like, isn't there a $25 ticket front row, or am I wrong?
$10 ticket.
$10 ticket.
But they are difficult to get, right? I mean, it's the lottery.
They're very difficult to get.
If I could speak to it for a second. I love the theater, and I love this moment that we're having right now. But I am not so fast to praise, I think what we're having is a rare moment. I think what we really need to pay attention to is the next 2 seasons.
Right.
Oftentimes from my career, I've watched, sort of my white counterparts. I imagine, if you would with me, if a white actor was having a similar situation as I'm having right now in this show, the kind of success of this show, there might be 3 or 4 offers a week for the next shows that you're going to do. There are no shows for me to do.
You're saying you haven't even with the success, you're not hearing a.
There's just no roles. There's just, especially when you look at an Aaron Burr, you look at, the complexity, the humanity in this part. There's no parts for me to play, right? Unless we're talking about somebody's going to reimagine, somebody's going to let me do a She Loves Me or a Music Man, which, we were talking about earlier. These are roles that were written for white actors. And so I don't say that to, I'll take care of myself. We'll be fine. I'll go do music. I'll go do TV. I'll go do what I have to do. But I think what we're going to see, I hope what we're going to see is 5-6 years from now, the shows that this show has inspired. The show that the writers, there's young writers now that are being inspired by the show that are going to start writing today. But as far as diversity on Broadway, I'll be interested to see what the next 2 or 3 seasons look like, because I don't hear a whole lot of stuff.